going to start the show out here, giving a shout out to my man, Johnny Damon. See, I got the hat on, Johnny. A-Game. If you don't know what A-Game is yet, it's coming to a theater near you. It is a hydration drink similar to that of the Gatorades, the Powerades, but in my opinion, tastes better. It's made with honey. So, A-Game, check it out. You're going to see it in the aisles. Try it out. Check it out. Johnny Damon, founder of it, running the show. What's up, JD? Glad things are going well. Today's guest I have with me is Connor Huzicka. And Connor may not be a household name yet, but is someone that I found doing a little bit of research and I thought was extremely creative in the way that he's kind of marketing and presenting himself. He's a ball player through and through. He played last year for West Liberty. Prior to that, he played for Tiffin. And he's a utility ball player. This kid, you give him a position, he can go play it. So what's up, Connor? How you doing?
Good. How about yourself, Donovan? I appreciate you having me on.
No, absolutely, man. It's my pleasure having you. I said, I came across and, you get those like people you should meet kind of things, or, you get that whole thing and you came across my feed and I clicked on it and it said, it was so unique and so cool, almost in the terms of like ISO, in search of ball player, like this kid wants to play ball. Tell me a little bit about your experience. I know you've had a little bit of a cool journey. Tell me about your baseball experience, going back to maybe early teenage years of playing ball, how involved you were, and to where you're at now.
Nah, so I was always like a football, baseball kid growing up in middle school. Then towards high school, made the switch only to baseball. But the big thing in my early baseball career was coming out of high school. I was a 2021 grad. So my big 17U recruiting year, that was the year only D3s could come and watch. So that was the COVID year, right after like the break of the COVID stuff. The first organized sports back, thankfully, baseball. So we were back being able to play. And I always played on like smaller market 2 travel teams. I never played on a huge market travel team. So I ended up having like all the D3 offers I could have in Ohio,
Yep.
but only having a couple Division 2s. And then I had a family friend reach out to a JUCO for me, who's a former pro scout with the Orioles.
Okay.
Called Only Central College, same call as like Wabash Valley, John A. Logan.
Okay.
So like went there first freshman year of college too. So like wasn't my freshman year fall. So that was like my first introduction to like failure. So that's when like I really had to rewire my entire swing, go like a whole complete change. But the biggest change for me has been in my mind. So that's everything.
I think when you're in a smaller school growing up, is it fair to say you were the man, right?
Yeah.
You were the
For
baseball
sure.
guy, right? Everybody like, oh man, you got to watch Connor. This dude's going to play one day for this team or that team. And then you find out quickly that there's a lot of Connors.
Exactly.
Right? There's a lot of Connors, man. And JUCO is a very, very smart move. First of all, shout out Matty Barr, local kid here, is pitching 100 miles an hour. He just got drafted by the Twins. JUCO route, right? Like JUCO, especially finding the right one, and it sounds like you did with the Oriole Scout and stuff like that. They can be an absolute, springboard to where you're trying to go. Once you played the JUCO and then moved on, what was the first move after that? Was that when you went to Tiffin?
We'll go back to like comparing yourself. You said that, and that's why you talk about like this artist approach. That's why I really try to take an artist approach to it now.
Yeah, I dig it.
Especially where I'm at, you can't look around. Everyone's good. Everyone can play baseball. It's like, how do I get my process and take that up a level?
Listen, I love the attitude, and it sounds like you've done enough mental research or gone through enough in your own mental really to come up with this, right? Because this doesn't sound like this is pre-rehearsed. This sounds like something that you've gone through and lived. Is that fair to say?
That's exactly like a big like thing I live by is like chop wood, carry water. I don't know if you ever heard of that, but it's like Kyrie Irving's eliminating all external distractions and just focusing on process of that day.
Okay.
Just winning one day at a time and like building small little habits, small little wins into your day that are even just 10, 15 minutes to work on the mental side.
Okay.
As long as the physical side over a long period of time stacks up to big wins. And like I can confidently say that's where I'm going now. And because of those habits, and like it's why I've been able to do what I can do.
Kyrie's an interesting cat, that's for sure, man. He likes his sage. He likes to burn some sage and do his thing. Where do you see yourself and where do you want to be? So, when you look at baseball player for hire, right? For lack of a better term, I'm obviously on B, but you played West Liberty. It's a D2 school. To me, it doesn't matter whether you played D1, D2, JUCO, whatever. It's a matter of getting seen. The right people have to see you playing ball. If there happened to be somebody from an organization that was out and was at a West Liberty game and you had the game of your life, there's a good, you might be signed to some type of league. There's frontier leagues, there's Cape Cod leagues, there's Pioneer leagues. There's all these different leagues of baseball that produce unbelievable talent. And you're how old? 23?
Yep,
20,
23.
23 years old. You look like you're, a heck of a ball player, man. So where do we go from here? Other than being on the Moneyball show and getting your due, you know, exposure here, because this is going to go out to a whole lot of people who listen and watch the show. And where do we go from here? How are you going to elevate yourself, elevate your game, and what is your end goal? Do you want to be an MLB ball player, or
Yeah, of course, that's the goal. That's
okay?
that's 100% the mission. So it's like, but obviously we work backwards from there. But we always have that feeling of being a big leaguer in us throughout the day, and that's what we focus on, feeling that energy. But it's definitely a process because now I'm looking for opportunities like a spring training invite
Okay.
to one of these indie ball league teams. Last summer I played in the Pecos League,
Yeah.
just like the only thing I could find right out of college. So like now it's like looking to take that next step up. And like you said, it's just like spring training. You can have opportunity just play in front of these coaches
Sure.
for a couple of days. Like you said, that's all I need. It's just a little opportunity, get in, play in front of them.
Have you done research to see how to get involved with an organization? And what I mean by that is spring training down in Florida or spring training in Arizona, right? How do you Rudy style, right? How do you get out there and get on the field to show these guys? What are the processes for anyone who might not know? What do you need to do? I mean, they don't let, there's security. They don't let just anybody go on. What do you need to do?
Most of the time it's definitely the tryout circuit. So there's different types of tryouts. There's like, for example, there's a company that I went to hosted like an invitational showcase, invite only, in Chillicothe, Ohio,
Okay.
in October, called Indie Ball Jobs. So I went there. It was a great camp, but it's more of like it's ran by a company, and then
Yeah.
you have those. So it's like a showcase, your
Yeah.
typical
Yeah.
showcase,
Yeah.
and then you got like just like you would have your college ID camps. It's the same thing for these independent league teams. They have the same types, and they also have like I would say like hidden workouts too. Like they have behind the scenes workouts you can get invited to. Then
Okay.
it's like it's like how it is. It's all connections who you know.
It's all
It's more about
connections here,
making
Yep.
connections
Yep.
than anything else, being a good person and making connections.
Do you have an agent at this point?
No, I will say like I have people who like help push my name out there through like knowing them personally and they've been through the system. So like that's how I've been able to like for example, when I got done playing in the Pecos, I was home training for a little bit of time, seeing if a contract would appear, just like fill in for a partner league for the
Yeah.
last like
Yeah.
week or so of the season, just by names pushing out there for me. So like that's the way I operate it. Cause at the indie ball level, it's like some guys have agents, but it's only a select few.
So it's a select few. It's, a lot of guys, quite honestly, if we want to chop it up and be real, guys can't afford agents, right? And, if
Sure.
it becomes like a situation of, do I want to represent this kid if I'm not getting paid, even knowing that I'm going to get a percentage if he does make it? There's not a ton of guys willing to do that. You know what I'm saying? They have to know you or truly believe in you. And you're right. I do know the name of the game. And I think that's why, again, your style and your approach to things is super unique and it's pretty rad, man. Like it's you're a humble dude, but I think in your head how good you are at baseball. Is that fair to say?
Exactly. And like it's all about just building confidence each day. Like I said, stacking the little wins and always just like building that little bit of confidence too. Cause you gotta have the confidence in the unseen because there's gonna be painful times, there's gonna be hard times, but like those are exactly what you needed in that opportunity to grow. You instead of like dwelling on the negative, use it to grow and move on and just improve your game. Cause that's like I would say that's everything to life and baseball.
How do you train, brother? How are you staying in shape right now? What are you doing? Are you are you training at facilities or what are you doing?
So I have a few facilities that I work and do trainings, and I run lessons out of a different one too as
Okay.
well. Involved with like the little kids, working like my mental side of the coaching
Yeah.
with them as we work through some hitting stuff. That's been
Yep.
fun, but
Yep.
doing that. So I train out of those, and then my best friend from home still working out too for the indie ball stuff. So we hit at the local facility or local college, Ohio Dominican University.
Okay.
Then workout splits a 3 day week lift.
Okay.
And then in between that, those dates, a lot of water bag and core.
Okay. So you're going hard.
Yep. Just got back into hitting though. I took like 2 weeks off.
Yeah,
Time to just like
which is smart.
chill for a while. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I was going hard and then had the showcase, so it's like tryouts and like spring training. I'm coming up till like March, late winter, so it's like this is the time to rest and like gain some more muscle and just reset.
The best athletes in the world, will tell you, regardless of the sport, you need to absolutely give your body a break and your brain a break. You can't be 24/7 on something. I mean, you're a younger guy, so it's and this sounds kind of crazy, but it's harder to focus on other things because as you mature and develop, other things become important in your life, whether that's relationship or kids or, something else that you might be doing. Right now you're driven by success. So it's hard. It almost becomes an obsession, right? It becomes an obsession to succeed. And, that's when you get into that mental aspect, which I'm curious to hear a little bit more about what you were saying there. The mental angle of sports is where probably 50%, man, if you got 10 guys in a room and all 10 guys can smack the cover off the ball and they're all great, they're trained and they all have a connection somewhere, right? Why is it only 5 guys are going to make it? I can tell you, it's the mental part of it. So tell me,
100%.
right? So tell me your spin a little bit on that.
I would say it's all how you like look at things. It's all your outlook and all perspective. So big perspective switch for me that I've done for my game that I've seen it take off is view it as art, like you talked about earlier. It's definitely like an art. When you're viewing it like an art, it's more of a process. Each swing's its individual like paintbrush on a canvas. It's not you're not trying to recreate something that's in the past. You're being present, just letting it display through you. It's
Okay.
that artist outlook where you can really take strides both on and off the field, seeing your life, how it's all connected. That's the biggest takeaway because not living the roller coaster of success and like the lows, you can't, it's all evens out at the end of the day, especially when you're baseball. But like you said, baseball is an everyday process. So it's like, how can I live every day in this artist way? I like to talk about it to like just get my mind right so I can execute off the field and on the field.
I catch a lot of little things when people talk, and I heard you say something probably, 5 minutes ago, and the last thing that you said was how you treat others, right? If we were to rewind, I would go back, and it's something you said, and I kind of pretended I didn't notice, but I certainly did. And you said, that it's a big reflection of how you conduct yourself, and ultimately how you're going to get noticed is how you treat others. I love that you said that. You hit the nail right on the head, dude. If you are known as the guy in the clubhouse or in the leagues who is kind of a troublemaker or an arrogant guy, or oh man, this kid he can hit, but he's just a jerk, they're not going to want to be around you. Sometimes, and I've seen this where they'll take a lesser talent player because of what he can bring to a clubhouse, right? We've all seen
Yeah.
that. Like, I'll take 23 because he might not hit as well as 21 or 25, but I'll tell you what, man, his brothers surround themselves around him and he makes them all better, right?
Exactly.
And I think you seem to have a little bit of that vibe to you, man. You have a little bit of an edge. You got to smile a little more, man. You got to be a little happier.
Yeah.
You're in good shape. You're on a cool show. I reached out to you, man. It's like you got to these are all positives and I'm a big believer in karma, right? Why did I get a break? Why did this dude call me? Why did this happen? I don't know, right? And instead of thinking about it so hard, it's more like, well, maybe I deserve this, right? And that's how you got to view anything. Like maybe I deserve this. You get out what you put, you get what you put out. It's withdrawals and deposits. That's how I like to say it. You said your
Yep.
chop wood, what the water thing, what was it?
Chop wood, carry water.
Chop wood, carry water. My thing is withdrawals and deposits. And all I mean by that, man, is, you wake up in the morning or the first person you see, you tell them they look good. Hey, man, I like what you're wearing today. Little deposits that you don't understand. That could be the worst morning of someone's life. And you just made their day by telling them they could like, not even women, but like it could be this woman's like, oh my God, I look so fat. And you see a woman, you're like, you look great today. It's amazing what little things can do for people, man.
I want, dude, like that's the best, dude. You can try.
I've noticed, man, we can talk, a little bit more about pro baseball for a minute. It's funny, and doing a lot of these pro baseball player interviews and stuff. And they're not always the biggest dudes, that are out crushing the ball. Look at guys like Altuve, and Kirk. Kirk's not hitting the home runs like Altuve is, but I mean, Kirk's probably 5'4", man. I don't know if you've ever seen him in person. They give him 5'6". He's probably 5'4". I mean, he is a little dude.
Yeah.
To do what he does, I mean, right? That's incredible. That's truly incredible. For those guys, the reason I bring those two guys up in particular is because how many people you think said to them, "There's no chance you're playing pro baseball"?
all the time, or make
Every
it to the
single they heard it
MLB.
every day of their life, right?
Oh yeah, I heard Kirk like get stopped too. They don't think he's a player.
Yeah, you got stopped going in.
This is wrong.
Could you imagine you got your badge and everything, like, ah, man, but he perseveres. Are you a power guy?
Yes, I would say so. Power side, really right center gap. That's my spot.
Okay.
When I'm going there, I know I'm going well.
But you can hit it
And
when
then
you need. You can hit it when you need to, where you need to. I mean,
exactly.
you play all positions, but what would you say, you're best suited at? Like, what have you played the most of? Second, or where were you playing?
So I actually have a unique journey. So coming up through high school, I was always shortstop. Freshman year of college, shortstop. At Tiffin, that's when I started to get sprinkled around the outfield. I'm athletic enough to move out there, so I played both corner outfield positions well over there. And then I played second, third, so I covered all the infield my sophomore and junior year at Tiffin and outfield.
What do
And
you
then at
mean? No,
Westwood,
no, no catcher, man. I mean, you couldn't hack it or what?
nah, I have respect for catchers though. Those dudes get after it.
They get after it, and
They get
that's become a
after it.
sexy position again. That was always like, oh, no, I don't want to play catcher. And now, dude, the best hitters, and now all these guys coming up. It started with like I think Adley, right? Kind of made that position cool again, right? And everybody's a catcher now, man. And I truly mean this from the bottom of my heart that I'm hoping in a year or two, man. A win would be seeing your name somewhere out there, right? Like you got to see this kid. I think I sent you that Dylan Leach, right?
Yep,
Did you listen to that?
I did.
It's
I did.
phenomenal, isn't it?
That's what I'm saying. It's more common than people believe, and the indie ball sector is only starting to blow up too more, especially from what they were trying to say at the showcase I was just at, that the draft is going to possibly shrink down even more to just 10 rounds. So
Really?
like that's what they were saying. And so
Wow.
that would bring more, obviously, way more to indie ball. So indie ball is the most competitive it's ever been because
Yeah.
also they're getting the most results of guys getting up and getting moved up pretty quickly too through the indie ball circuit.
Let's talk about that though a minute. So, would they not be able to draft through indie ball? Like the draft used to be what, 40 rounds?
Yeah.
I mean, there's some guys, man, that are really, really good that were like 30th round draft picks. It's wild. But then when it went to 20 even, like guys like, Tarek Skubal was a ninth round pick. Some of these guys, like every round matters in baseball. I have friends that were 18, 19, 20 round picks that are playing pro. But you don't hear a lot. They're not getting drafted from indie leagues. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
it's only signed. So you'd only like directly sign. You already signed the contract, and it's like kind of like a soccer transfer to some teams. They'll like pay money for your contract.
Do you think there's a lot of guys, man, and give me your honest opinion on this, and we'll talk a couple more minutes, I'll let you go. But do you think there's just too much? Dude, that's too many guys, right, to get noticed. There's got to be guys getting overlooked all over the place. There just has to be.
Well, 100%, and that's I mean we're seeing the results of that too with more and more guys get picked up through indie ball, through the Frontier League, through the Atlantic League, to these MLB organizations too, because it's so common now too. And like that's another thing I love about baseball, and I'm sure everyone does. It's like baseball, the underdog story wins. It's like it's not like NFL where it's like NFL draft. It's only those D1 guys really going. In
Correct.
baseball, you're seeing the JUCO guys, the high school guys,
It's a great
D2,
point.
D3 making huge waves in the league.
That's a great point, man. I love that you said that. I think the only problem is with these guys in indie league and stuff like that is you still have to support a family, right? Or you get to a point, and this is what I don't like about it, is if you're 25, 26 years old, and I'm going to ask you this question straight out. How long would be too long? How long are you going to go? How long would too long be for you where you're like, all right, man, I need to go focus now on just mental stuff or coaching or a new career? How long do you, as a ball player, how long are you going to give yourself?
I would say I want to be in like an MLB organization by the time I'm like 25. By the
Okay.
time I'm 25, and then it's like from there too. It's like I could use baseball to travel the world and have a couple years to play in Europe,
Yep.
just for the fun. Just like God bless me with this opportunity and this gift to play this game. So it's
Yep.
like I would love to write it out as much as I can, but definitely after like year 25, I'm trying to be in the MLB organization. Then from there, it's house money. It's been blessed with the opportunity, like just making the most and just being grateful for a lot of it. But until then, just putting my head down and grinding, and then riding the mental coaching after. That's why a lot of like what I do is take a lot of do a lot of journaling each day to like
Okay.
reflect and also move forward. So it's like I know these notes are gonna be huge in my like mental coaching and what I want to focus on after baseball. So it's like the more adversity I have in baseball, even though some of it might suck, still gonna help someone else one day, and also help my own game just continue to improve.
You're a likable kid for sure, man. You really are. What you're saying is from the heart. I can tell very much so. So I'm glad that you have in your head like this is where I want to be, and if not, I'm going to use it to further benefit other people and benefit my career. If somebody came calling to your door, tomorrow and said, "Hey, man, we got an opportunity in Tijuana, Mexico tomorrow," would you take it?
We'll see. It's tough. I got a lot of
I always told you, man. You were like, "Is this a trick question or what?" Huh?
Yeah, it's just hard. It's just hard. Like I would say Mexico is probably a next year thing. Next year thing.
I like your honesty, bro. You can say, "Yeah, I'll take any chance that comes," and you didn't say you're an honest dude, and I appreciate that.
I would be down. Like I would be down. I've heard great things. Not the year though.
Well, it depends, man. You got to be careful down there too. It depends where you're at. But I do have a few connects here and there, right? With agents and things like that. And dude, I'll tell you what, and that's another reason I wanted to speak to you myself and just kind of feel you out, man. And I can tell you this, Connor, I wish you absolutely nothing but the best, bro. You're definitely a citizen with Moneyball, dude, and I got your back, man. But this was a lot of fun. Hopefully you had a good time chopping it up a little bit.
No, I did. Thank you so much for the opportunity. A podcast is definitely, I would say, like down the avenue that I'm getting into. So I'd love to have you on at some point.
Yeah, man. Listen,
We'll have the circle go. We'll have the circle go full circle.
I'm an automatic yes. I would always be that way with anybody. I don't care what I had going on or how busy or popular I got, man. I don't ever forget roots or anything like that. And that's important. I would anytime you ever wanted to have me on. Say it any better to my son, dude. I got 12-year-old son, 9-year-old son, 5-year-old son. We're about to go smack some balls right now in the batting cages. So I promised him I would. You enjoy the rest of your night, bro.
All right. Thank
Take
you.
care,
You
dude.
as well.
All right, bye.